South African jazz industry has lost one of its own. Renowned trombone player Jonas Gwangwa has died at the age of 83. The legendary musician is known for hit songs such as Batsumi, among others. He was awarded the Order of Ikamanga for his exceptional contribution to music and the struggle for freedom. Gwangwa has passed away on the anniversary of both Hugh Masekela and Oliver Mtukudzi's deaths. President Cyril Ramaphosa says Gwangwa mobilized the international community against the apartheid system. Let's bring in Sandile Memela, who is a cultural expert, to speak on Jonas Gwangwa's legacy. Sandile, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us on such a sad day, not only for the jazz industry, but for the cultural sphere at large. South Africa has lost one of its greats. Tell us about the more than 40-year legacy that Jonas Gwangwa leaves behind.
Thank you for the opportunity and the privilege. You know, we are, of course, stunned. We are saddened. There's just too much death around us. But we are South Africans. We're strong people, resilient, and we can accept things that we cannot change. And death is one of them. And, of course, condolences and sympathies to the family. Only last week, we were burying his partner and wife, the woman who's been on his side. And one can only hope and pray that he too and the family will stay strong. And there is a dark cloud that hovers over us. These are stormy times. But we are Africans, and we will not mourn, we will not lament. Instead, we will celebrate Brother Jonas's legacy. He left us enough heritage for us to be able to carry this pain. He's a man who played his role. He ran the race. Brother Jonas is one man that we cannot complain about when it's time for him to leave us. He did everything that he could in his lifetime to show us the way. He went into exile, got educated at some of the best music schools in America, played in America, toured the world, helped found Amandla, the cultural ensemble that traveled around the world and made people aware of the struggle of the ANC, and of course mobilized support in terms of funds and other immaterial ways. And he returned to the country, was amongst the first to come back, not only to play amongst his people, but to identify and help cultivate the new talent. Today, due to people like Jonas Gwangwa, Hugh Masekela, and Abdullah Ibrahim, and Brakey Kefa Semenya, we have young talent that is exploding, especially in terms of jazz, that has left an indelible impression amongst jazz and music audiences that has shown that South Africa has got what it takes. He wrote the musical, for instance, for the Biko film, and of course he performed and was given some of the highest honors in this country. I think we are glad that we have had him among us. He is an example of an artist who has taught us, who has shown us that we have got to take full responsibility for ourselves and use our talents to articulate and express the aspirations and hopes of our people. He did what he did. I'm not too sure that I can say more than that, except to be grateful, to express our gratitude. Yes, we are in pain. Yes, we are suffering. Yes, these are miserable times. But we are a blessed people to have had someone of Brother Jonas's caliber amongst us. And we can only hope and pray that the family will withstand this pressure. These are stormy times for South Africa. But as I said, we are resilient people. We will walk through this dark passage.
Sandile, music moves at such an incredible pace. Every day there is new music being released by young artists, and as we lose the greats in the industry, there is a danger that we will forget our musical history, the history of South Africa, captured not only in its visual arts but also so vividly in its music. Why do you think young South Africans should, at a time like this, remember the legacy of Jonas Gwangwa and pay tribute to him in their music as a way of continuing his legacy and his sound?
Why should we remember Jonas and his partner? These are living examples of what it means to be a South African. We are confronted by the most unequal society on earth. There's so much racism, there's so much injustice, there's so much lack of support for people who are in the arts. But we hold on to hope. We look at the example of these people. We know that the power that lies within us is greater than the challenge that is without us, that we face, that we control. Jonas and his partner are examples of they epitomize the strength, the resilience, the focus, the determination, and of course, the hard work that you can be what you want to be. I mean, I'm one guy who had the privilege as an arts journalist to spend time with Jonas and get into his headspace. And he would share with me that he has produced so much material in his home that still needs to be produced. Now, what this means is that as an artist, as a young person, focus on your dream. Do what you've got to do. Stop blaming other people. The ancestors and God and time and fate will actually intervene when the time is right. Don't give up. And I think they are examples of the spirit of hope that continues to carry us through the hard times. Yes, every hour, every moment, everywhere, we wait for phone calls where someone will tell us that so-and-so has passed on. We cannot afford to be paralyzed, to be indifferent or numb. We've got to be prepared because nobody knows when the hour will strike. We're grateful that we had Jonas. There's so much that he has taught us. It's a spirit that lives in us. In fact, if I understood the meaning of his life, it is that the fear of death is the fear of life. For death and life are one. They are like twins. And it is for this reason that he lived up to 82. We would have loved for him to live until 150. But the time for that is not what we decide. We leave it to the ancestors. We leave it to God. We leave it to fate. We are grateful that Jonas was with us. We will always remember and cherish his memory. And the young people, what can they do but learn from those who walked before them? Kutiwa indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. Jonas and his generation have shown us the way. We're not yet perfect. We haven't yet gotten to where we are going, but we'll keep on keeping on. I think that is what young people can learn from his example. Stop blaming the situation that you find yourself in. Do what you have to do. Jonas is an international legend and icon. He was in exile where he could have been killed at any hour. That did not stop him from doing what he had to do. Let the young people of this country do what they have to do, and they too will leave us with the heritage that we deserve as South Africans, as humanity.
Thank you very much. That was Sandile Memela sharing his memories of Jonas Gwangwa as the jazz industry in South Africa at large mourns his passing.